Our chief reporter, Kaveh Solokol, has come back on set. Kaveh, oh my goodness. How do you react to that?
Well, look, the first thing you should say is that referees are human beings. They make mistakes like everybody else. They were working there in a very highly pressurised environment, and they made a mistake, and it was a big mistake.
Football woke up to shockwaves rippling across the global game as FIFA took one of the most daring, controversial, and unprecedented steps in modern football history, officially awarding Arsenal all 3 points from their fiercely debated clash against Brentford after concluding that VAR and referee errors fundamentally altered the outcome of the match. In a sport long accused of protecting its own, FIFA's intervention landed like an earthquake. This was not a quiet apology. Not a carefully worded statement. This was a full correction of history and a warning to every officiating body that the era of brushing injustice aside may finally be over. The original encounter between Arsenal and Brentford was intense, physical, and charged with significance. Arsenal entered the game chasing momentum in a tightly contested title race, while Brentford were fighting to prove they could disrupt the league's elite. What unfolded, however, would transcend football itself. From the opening whistle, Arsenal controlled possession, dictated tempo, and carved out multiple clear chances. Their pressing suffocated Brentford, forcing errors and pinning them deep. Yet as Arsenal pushed forward, the game began slipping away from footballing logic and into officiating chaos. A perfectly legitimate Arsenal goal was chalked off after VAR officials failed to apply correct offside protocol. Broadcast replays later showed that the required lines were either incorrectly drawn or not drawn at all. Minutes later, Arsenal were denied a stonewall penalty when a Brentford defender made undeniable contact inside the box, an incident waved away without even a VAR review. The stadium erupted. Players protested. Fans were furious. Pundits were stunned. But the worst was still to come. Post-match audio analysis reportedly revealed confusion, hesitation, and breakdowns in communication between the referee and VAR booth. Critical decisions were rushed. Procedures were ignored. Protocols designed to protect fairness were simply abandoned. When the final whistle blew, Arsenal were denied a victory they had earned on the pitch. And the fallout was explosive. Unlike countless controversies before it, this one refused to fade. Pressure mounted from fans, former players, refereeing experts, and legal analysts. The scale of the error and its potential impact on the title race made silence impossible. Behind closed doors, FIFA launched an extraordinary review process. Match footage was dissected frame by frame. VAR logs were examined. Referee communications were scrutinized. Independent officiating experts were consulted. The conclusion was damning. FIFA determined that the mistakes were not subjective judgment calls, but clear breaches of VAR protocol and refereeing standards. More importantly, the governing body ruled that these failures directly influenced the final result, compromising the integrity of competition. Then came the decision that shook football to its core. Arsenal were awarded all 3 points. No replay. No shared points. No excuses. Justice, enforced. The ruling marked a seismic shift in football governance. For decades, authorities insisted that results were final, no matter how flawed the officiating. This decision shattered that long-held belief and signaled a new era of accountability. Sources close to the investigation revealed FIFA's deep concern over VAR officials failing to perform mandatory checks. Referees ignoring guidance during decisive moments. A culture of protection rather than correction. Repeated officiating failures influencing league standings. This was not treated as a one-off blunder, but as evidence of a system dangerously close to collapse under its own inconsistencies. For Arsenal, the implications were enormous. The restored 3 points reignited belief inside the squad and among supporters who had felt systematically wronged. In a title race decided by razor-thin margins, this ruling could be the turning point psychologically and mathematically. Players reportedly felt vindicated, describing the decision as a win for fairness. Club officials, while careful in public statements, privately viewed the ruling as historic not just for Arsenal, but for football itself. Momentum shifted. Confidence surged. The Emirates buzzed once again with belief that justice, though delayed, had finally arrived. Brentford, meanwhile, found themselves unwilling participants in a storm they did not create. The club maintained professionalism, acknowledging FIFA's authority while expressing understandable frustration. Internally, there was recognition that the original result had been compromised, even if the punishment felt harsh. This was never about blaming Brentford. It was about correcting a broken process. The ruling has ignited a fierce global debate about VAR's future. Is technology saving football or exposing how fragile officiating structures truly are? Should results be corrected when errors are proven beyond doubt? And how many past injustices now demand re-examination for referees? The message was chilling: accountability is no longer optional. For fans, it was revolutionary, proof that outrage, evidence, and persistence can force change. For football, it was a crossroads moment. Whether this decision becomes a rare exception or the beginning of a new standard remains to be seen. But one thing is certain: the Arsenal vs Brentford ruling will be remembered as the day football's highest authority finally chose courage over convenience. The game may never be the same again.